All right, let's just jump right in. If you're an ambitious practitioner, you're probably always looking for that next big thing. But what if I told you the biggest opportunity in aesthetics today isn't some new machine or a fancy new technique? It's actually the experience, the whole vibe surrounding the procedures you've already mastered. We're going to break down exactly how you can use that experience to build an advantage that no one else can copy.
So here's the thing. There's this huge disconnect, right? As clinical owners, you're laser focused on the technical stuff, and you should be. You're thinking about the best devices, the latest techniques, making sure your prices are right. But your patients, they're not thinking about that. They're human. They run on emotion. And what they remember, what they actually go and tell their friends about, it's not the hurts of your laser. It's how you made them feel from the second they walked in.
And this is the key insight from Dr. Ari Masudi. That gap we just talked about, it's not a weakness. It's a massive, untapped opportunity. Seriously, it's probably the easiest lever you can pull to stand out in what's become a really crowded market. So the big question is, how do you actually do it?
Well, it all starts with a big shift in how you think. You got to move beyond just being a doctor who runs a clinic. You need to start thinking like a director, a stage director, choreographing every single moment of your patient's experience.
Okay, so what does that even mean? It's a total flip in perspective. See, most clinics are designed for efficiency, right? Where the machines go, how to get patients in and out. But this stage director mindset, it's about designing everything, the layout, the lighting, you name it, around the patient's emotional journey. You're not just giving them a service anymore. You're directing an entire experience. And it boils down to 3 simple but super powerful questions you should be asking at every single touch point. I'm talking from the first time they see your website to the moment they're in the consultation room. Question 1, what should the patient feel right here? 2, what do I need them to understand in this moment? And 3, what should they do next? See, this is how you take a big abstract idea and turn it into a real concrete plan. Okay, let's get practical. Part 1 is all about designing the physical universe. This is the world your patient steps into, and it's where you take complete control of their sensory environment. I mean, think about it. How many clinics have you seen that fall into this trap of generic luxury? You know the look. White walls, some gold details, maybe a TV on mute playing a fashion show. It feels safe, I get it, but honestly, it's completely forgettable. It does absolutely nothing to make you stand out. The alternative? You create your own clinic universe. This is a coherent world where everything feels like it belongs. I'm talking colors, materials, sounds, even scents. They all work together to support your unique promise. Maybe your promise is ultra-natural rejuvenation, or maybe it's discreet high-end refinement. Whatever it is, your universe has to scream it. And look, you cannot underestimate the power of those first 5 minutes. The entrance, the arrival, it's absolutely critical. This is where your patient decides subconsciously if they feel safe, if they feel understood, if they're impressed. You are literally setting the emotional baseline for the entire relationship before you've even said a single clinical word. So how do you actually shape that emotional baseline? You do it by intentionally designing 3 key sensory inputs. We're talking about sound, scent, and light. Sound that's curated and calming, not distracting. A scent that's subtle and becomes your signature. And light that's both flattering for them and functional for you. All right, sound. First things first, please, for the love of all that is holy, turn off the random pop hits on the radio. But total silence? That can be just as weird and jarring. The real solution is to curate playlists for each specific zone. A different vibe for reception than for the treatment rooms. Set clear rules for the volume. And here's the key, assign one person to manage it. Make it their job. Okay, now scent. Same logic here. Job number 1 is to get rid of any of those medical smells. You gotta neutralize them. Then pick one simple signature scent. Use a professional diffuser, not those cheap plugins, so it's consistent. And a pro tip, start with a super low intensity. You can always dial it up. And please, collect feedback from people. Now, lighting, this one has 2 jobs to do. You have your technical lighting, which has to be perfect for accurate assessments and treatments, of course, but then there's the emotional lighting. This is the softer light that makes people feel comfortable and builds trust. It's the light that makes sure they look and feel good when they see themselves in the mirror. And hey, don't forget touch and temperature. I mean, every single physical sensation is emotionally charged. Think about the weight of a door handle, the texture of a blanket you offer them. Is the room a comfortable temperature? All these little things add up to a feeling of incredible care and quality. But look, a beautiful space, that's only half the battle. So now we move on to part 2, which is all about activating the human experience. This is about your people and your patients. So here's the goal. You want to turn your patients from just passive bodies lying on a table into active co-creators of their own experience. When they feel involved, they feel a sense of ownership, and that builds a ridiculous amount of trust and makes them way more likely to stick with their treatment plans. So how do we do that, you ask? Great question. You can use something like an intent form before the consultation to get them thinking. During the consult, use tools they can touch. Let them feel the texture of a product or draw out a plan with them. And afterwards, don't just ask about the result. Ask for targeted feedback on the experience. And this is so important. You can spend all the money in the world on a perfect sensory environment, and one short, cold interaction at the front desk can ruin the whole thing. Your team is literally the living, breathing part of your brand experience. And getting your team aligned isn't about giving them rigid scripts to read. No way. It's about setting guidelines for behavior. Things like the speed of their speech, their body language. It's about a uniform that fits your vibe. And it's about training them to be aware of the sensory stuff too, so they can help maintain it.
All right, this brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, building your uncopyable advantage. Because when you combine that amazing physical universe with a killer human experience, you create something that your competitors just can't steal.
I mean, just look at the difference here. Trying to compete on having the newest device or the best discount, that's a fragile advantage. Someone's always going to come along with a newer machine or a cheaper price. But competing on your culture, your systems, and an experience that people deeply feel, that is a durable advantage. It's a real moat around your business. And that's what hits the bottom line, right? This whole approach is how you get that rock-solid patient retention. It's how you get the best marketing in the world. Real, honest-to-goodness word of mouth. And it's what gives you the power to charge what you're actually worth. Okay, hopefully you're feeling a little inspired. So here's what I want you to do. Don't try to boil the ocean. Just focus on 3 things this month. First, get crystal clear on your clinic's universe. Write it down in 1 sentence. Second, just focus on redesigning the first 5 minutes of the patient journey. That's it. And third, start asking people how they feel when they're in your clinic. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about making your clinic look nice. It's about your identity. It's about shifting from being a place that just provides a service to being a destination that creates a specific feeling. So, I'll leave you with this. What kind of experience are you going to create?